Hey, I'm Nafi Neck, and welcome to Anime in a Day, or laying around watching Angel Beats until I cry. This is the last day I'm gonna be in my, old parents' home. So I moved back into my dorm, and I figured it's time for a sad anime. And if I don't, you know what? I think I'm gonna cry no matter what, because if I don't cry, I'm gonna cry since Angel Beats sucks. I'm joking. I haven't watched it yet. That's what we're here to find out. Uh, I never cried in any other piece of media before. It's not that impressive, but I'm not saying that as an impressive thing. I mean, uh, but I'm hoping it changes here. I haven't watched. I did watch Charlotte, which is another thing the creator made, and I felt the emotions at the very last scene of Charlotte. I'm hoping Angel Beast does the same thing. I heard there were tone shifts that were kind of awkward. Uh, I don't know. I haven't watched any other anime that was set in a purgatory. The only other one that I can think of is Death Parade. What am I fucking rambling about? Time for the first episode. Okay, while it's downloading, hope you can't see like half the screen there. I'm gonna be playing something, so I'm hoping that YouTube's anti-copyright system doesn't notice this, but the current popular anime, because Anime in a Day, or that's what this series is called back then, where I just watch an anime, is supposed to be about popular shit, I guess, because maybe my thoughts on it would be different from everyone else's. I doubt it. They're big anime. Everyone's already theorized and talked about it, but currently I'm opening an episode of Bochi the Rock, and that's the other anime that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, maybe I'll watch this in a day. It's very fun. Very relatable. Can't believe Bochi doesn't talk about her YouTube channel after the first episode. So sad. She even has a little sister. I think my favorite character is the yellow-haired one, though. I don't know. The main girl. Too relatable to be, like, enjoyable. Instead, it's just painful. It's too real. Alright. I think the only big point that I have to say about Bochi, and I don't know why I have a section about Bochi in my Angel Beats video, but it's pop right now, so whatever. The main thing I really want to talk about it is that it's a great adaptation of a 4-koma manga. Like, there's so many punchlines and jokes that works in 4 panels, and they cram all of it into a 20-minute block, and then into 12 episodes of funny gags. I think that's great. Alright. Bochi Besto. Brioche. That's the last word that I can think of that starts with a B. Alright, I should explain actually my situation right now. The air conditioner's on. It is blaring full force. Okay, my stand that I'm using for my phone, it's not the same one as last time. It's not very maneuverable. All it does is that it just kind of makes the phone a bit taller and look straightforward and not maneuver in any way. It is, as you can see when I open these blinds, dawn, basically. It's 5:30 a.m. Sun's about to go up. Last day that I'm at my parents' house. So yeah, sounds about right. Hoping I'd cry at the end of whatever anime I'm watching. Maybe I'll get into some in-depth discussion on how these little things or details and the way that it presents itself or narrative details would make someone to cry. But that's kind of the only thing I know about Angel Beats, I suppose. Alright, it's finished. From my illegal downloading place. I don't know if that's even possible, actually. Alright, let's start the first episode. No more meandering. Just before I start the episode, whenever I do these anime in a days, which is what I'm gonna call it, even though I've changed the title to Laying Around, I always feel kinda tired at the end of the day, which is to be expected, but at the end I just have like a giant influx of knowledge being sent straight into my brain, so those feel good, I guess. I look back upon them as fond days where I did one thing and only one thing. That's just sort of an evaluation of this series that I've been doing. Okay, I'm halfway through the episode basically, and I think how I'm gonna structure this is that at the half of every episode I get to say something, because if I have something to say for every single shot, which I kinda do, it'll take forever, so no. Also, I burped from drinking coffee. Whatever. You know what's the important part? Show's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Immediately, the premise is intriguing, seems promising. They're in, well, they call it the Like Hell I'm Dead Battlefront, but it's called what's it called? The place before you're dead, and the afterlife, and the place after you're alive. I forgot what it was called, even though I said at the beginning of this video. The P place. They go to the P place after you die. And the rules on it aren't concrete just yet, as the people in the video screen, the anime, Yuri the leader, says they aren't sure what happens after they're quote-unquote erased, as they say. You might become a sea animal, and they're basically fighting to not become that against the angel to take over the world. And that's sort of, I guess that's the most rational thing to do, because after you're erased, you don't know what'll happen. But the best thing you can do right now is to make the best of it in the world that you're in. I hope some episode they figure out the boundaries of this world, if it's just in a high school setting or you can go somewhere else. Besides that, you really only go off like in the viewer's perspective. This is an entire new world, and that's the start of every anime basically. He got isekai'd and he lost his memories. So it's the generic blank slate protagonist, but he uses some of his rationale to do what his next action is, you know. So that's cool. That's the only thing he can go off of. And he also has some worldly sense from the real world, like going to the hospital when you're sick, when he isn't sick. And I guess we'll have to see what war is going on against this angel, who I don't think is that bad, but who knows. I just think being too close-minded to listen to the first person that shows up in front of you is just kind of a bad thing. You gotta know everything before making a decision, you know? Yeah. What was it? All right. The aesthetics. It looks. It doesn't look that great. I don't love its art style or anything, and the tops of their heads are always like gradiented to white because it's shiny and stuff. I don't think I like PA Works' style, honestly. But the animation that they do isn't half bad, so that's good. Alright, see you until the end of the first episode, I suppose. Okay, I just finished the first episode and I got a few thoughts about it. I honestly will probably forget a lot of the things that I even want to say. Yep. Anyways, so a lot of the shots that were used were very visually interesting, especially the ones where, you know, it's better for a visual aid. Let me check if I can find it. Okay, stuff like this, where all the people are shooting at Angel. She's using distortion, and the bullets just come flying out. It looks pretty cool. There's also another one where they were on top of this part. I remember the camera was shaky, and it looks very realistic for an anime, I suppose. Um, Even though I don't like the main art style, I like how it presents a lot of the ways that it does. And I saw that this is an original anime, not adapted from anything. So, yeah, cool ideas being presented here. Cool shots, really. What they're trying to do, well, okay, one more thing about the premise of the show itself. That's what they're trying to show fully in the first episode is its entire world. So these guys are dead and they're in purgatory, but there's still normal school life going on for what Yuri calls the main character, the main girl character, heroine, NPCs. So that's funny. They're doing school life, and these guys are also doing school life, but they're dead. They're in purgatory. Figured out what that word is, and they get meals from them by doing the meal ticket thing. I guess I don't know how they work. Do you just get them for free if you have a meal ticket? I don't know. And also, if you just blow a fan on them, they just lift them up and then go out of the window even though they're in their pockets. Seems pretty insane to me, but whatever, I guess. The way it. I think one of the ways that it makes you cry a bit, and it was shown in the first episode, is just have music. Just have a guy doing a concert, have music play, and then in another scene, a big battle scene plays, and the music from the concert is blaring, and it's sad. Alright. That might be all I wanted to say. Besides that, I guess the main character's motives kept changing. At first, it was to disappear and run away, and then it's to fight Angel. Even though I think that's still pretty biased towards Yuri, I think in my after seeing Angel do things, who I think is supposed to be like the order and division to make sure the purgatory people aren't going out of their way to disrupt the normal everyday life is going on, I guess. Just try to figure out both sides of the war before you like enlist onto one of them, you know what I'm saying? Um and then he wants to find his old memories. So that'll be interesting when we get to that, I suppose. Yeah. Next episode, one more thing. I did like how the preview for the next episode started. It looked like this. There's like a bunch of letters going on the screen. It was pretty cool looking. I'm hoping none of this footage is going to get YouTube copyrighted. It is the 28th most popular anime. Don't look at my BitTorrent. Okay, I just want to say, look at this scene shot that happens for like a second here. Yeah, that one where like the camera rotates around the white-haired girl playing the piano. I think the way that was done was that they just used the 3D model of everything and then just draw and based on that. Uh, and I bet that happens for like quite a few scenes in the anime itself. It's, it's a good high level production from PA Works. I just don't like the art style. It's a bit too. It's not really cute looking. It's not very unique. The hair has lines in it, and there's too many lines in it. I hate it. And I said before, there's a gradient on them that makes it white at the tip. Uh, oh yeah, about it being a original anime, I genuinely thought it was from a visual novel because this definitely seems like one of those high school rom-coms kind of things, and I can like imagine a couple of the comedy scenes being executed in a visual novel fashion, but maybe I just play too many of them. Alright, see you halfway through. Oh yeah, when I saw the opening for the first time, I was like, this is way too many characters. Are we gonna get into all of them? I think we're just gonna have to see like, so this group of characters, for example, this is a band, so maybe we'd see the conflict if they have one. It's as a band, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna focus on each and every single one. They'd probably only have like a one note personality, but if they have any moral to speak of them or be involved in any conflict, it'd be as a band. Maybe they'd have music wars against another one. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Okay, with this limited camera setup, I don't really have many angles. But yeah, halfway through episode 2, they're at the guild. They're gonna get some weapons and armory. But they set up a bunch of traps so that Angel wouldn't go down there. Now, they make it seem as if the guild is its own society or group of people, and they decided to reset the traps. I thought it was just a place, but I guess I'm wrong. They're trying to go through all the traps, and it's a big group, but every time someone gets sacrificed, it's honestly kind of redundant. Like, it repeats the whole joke of someone forgetting that a trap was even set up. And I'm like, that's like, I mean, it's set up as a joke, but it's also just kind of hard to predict, I suppose. I don't know. Whatever, I guess. We'll see what happens at the end. I don't think this is a very productive episode so far, honestly. And this ending is making me pretty sleepy since I woke up at like 4. Okay, anyways, before I get a copyright strike, I am at the end of episode 2, and I guess the point of that is, at least the second half, is to gain some insight on parts of the world, such as the guild, and mostly the backstory for Yuri, the leader of the whole anti-angel organization. So, listen to this. She was from a wealthy family, she has siblings, and burglars raided her house. Now, those burglars could not find anything valuable, so they figured the eldest sibling would know something about those valuable things that the burglars can steal. But they gave her a time limit, and every 10 minutes they will kill one of her siblings. So when she tried to give them a big vase, which is heavy, she fell down the stairs, and a bunch of blood came out, and after 30 minutes, all of her siblings died, and then the police came. Now, 30 minutes for the police to go there is way too long. Those are competent bastards. Second, it is a sad backstory, and it's not super unrealistic, but it is kinda silly. Um, but whatever, it's fine. It's just got a bit of anime, like, like, and it's got that flair to it that makes it a somewhat more interesting backstory than if it wasn't. Like, if they just died in a car crash. That's not necessarily a tragedy. This is more emotional. It is still a bit silly. It's a bit silly, okay? Um, but the point of that is to show that Yuri does believe in a god, but just so she can spite on that god, because she hates the idea that if there was an all-powerful being, she would be in so much pain because of this god. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. The guild part, I don't know. The angel came, the angel just kind of came and went. I tried stopping them with just a couple of blades that were in her arm. I don't know. They blew up the guild, and now there's an old guild. The thing that I find kind of weird is that if, like, the purgatory world structure has to be the same as the real world, right? So there just is a gigantic industrial place in the underground basement of this world, and a bunch of traps too. Like, so now I'm thinking whatever happens, but it's too unrealistic for that to be in the real world, so whatever. I guess the purgatory and the real world have different structures, because I don't know, ordinary high school students wouldn't venture into them. Alright, next one. We'll see what it's about. I'm hoping another silly backstory is shown. That's probably my favorite part of the episode. Oh man, I just keep forgetting things I want to say, and then after I stop recording, I remember it all of a sudden. Alright, so a weird concept was introduced in the last episode. Turns out that you can just create anything you want, even out of dirt, as long as you have the memory of that thing in the old world where you were from. That's cool. I hope they reuse that concept. Like, if you just kind of want a hammer out of nowhere, you just get some Play-Doh, shape it into a hammer, and as long as you remember it and have a clear vision in your head, you can just create it. So, that's like a story mechanic that seems real big, you know? Okay, episode 3 time. I don't have my phone to take pictures because it's currently on camera record mode, so here's a meme I love. Where is it? The House and Fata Morgana, Requiem for Innocence. That's what it actually says, yep. Back to the alluring white screen of being halfway through the episode. The backstory was revealed, and I understand the anime loop of Angel Beats. Basically, you focus on a character, they have a backstory, and they relate it to something that's going on in the world or the plot, I suppose. In the last one, it was just kind of in the guild, and her backstory was shown because they were on a break, I suppose. But here, I think she was just willing to say it because, well, at first, in like the first scene, she was rejected for making a ballad, and it was going against the purpose of making a diversion. So maybe here Yuri will accept it or something. I don't know. I'll have to watch the second half, but basically,
because I really like these backstory sections. I'll just recap them. She has parental issues. Her parents keep fighting, and she found music, and music is her new passion in life. But because, and it was basically going really well for her, she had part time jobs, she was getting somewhat successful in her music career, but it all went down the drain because after trying to stop her parents fighting, she had a bottle to the head. She had a cerebral contusion or whatever. She was unable to speak and was stuck in the hospital bed for the rest of her life and died. I thought because she said it wasn't as bad as hers, um, it wasn't gonna be as bad, but I don't know, slowly being drained of your life on a hospital bed is more torturous than losing all of your siblings. I mean, in both ways, you'd lose the will to live from losing the closest ones to you, but the other time, the second one, she's just kind of unable to do anything. Like, she can't speak, you know? At least when you lose all your siblings, you got other things to do in life. You can still work, I guess. But yeah, you don't have the will. So, because of all these very sad backstories, they're trying to rebel against God. And that's sort of the main theme of it, about life being unfair. And they don't like the fact that if there was an all powerful being, they would make them suffer so much. Especially one that claims to be omnibenevolent, you know? So yeah, I'll have to watch until the second half. Ugh. Let me tell you, does remind me of both Subihibi and the House in Fate Morgana, but at least Thifum had a few other um, things to it. I mean, it's just the same theme, but presented in different ways. This one is very silly backstories. To be fair, Suihibi also did it in a pretty absurd way of bullying the characters, like, just into such an insane level. But whatever. See you after the end of the third episode. Okay, I'm at the end. Sorry for another crappy camera angle, but I wanted to show my face during the concert section of episode 3, because there were tears coming out of my eyes, and I thought it'd be funny. It's like, oh, I'm totally crying, you guys, but no, I just got tired. My eyes got watery because I was looking at the screen too much. Yeah, totally. Angel Beats made me cry. I'm so emotional right now. But the emotional arc of this episode really wasn't that bad. Basically, you know how she and her backstory, music saved her life, and sure, music can make someone emotional. It made her want to become a rock star herself, so she did, and at the end, she did her whole ballad, which, well, Yuri didn't see. She still wasn't accepting of it, but that's whatever. She basically hoped that her music let someone else be less depressed, just like how she was moved by music. You know what I mean? Yeah, whatever. The other thing, the new information that we gleaned, was that the angel is developing her own powers. In short, or like what that means is that she doesn't have any special privileges. She is just another being like them, basically. She isn't God, and that's what they thought she was because she was opposing them, maybe at the very start. I don't know the full reason, but she is more like them than Yuri expects them to. And even when she was pulling down the poster, she said, "It's like I'm the enemy here," which is what I was saying in the beginning. She's not evil. The main character just has to figure that out. She just. The only reason why he's following Yuri is because he knows, or he just plopped right in front of her and she was able to indoctrinate him. God damn it. I was kind of wrong about the whole band thing, though, that the whole band has a conflict. That's just the main singer. We don't really know much about the other band members. I thought it would forego that flaw by having an arc with all of the people, but no, just the main singer. Whatever. Not a bad episode. Better than the last one. I thought, like, the anime loop was that someone has a backstory, we figure out their character, they go through some moral in the afterlife after they died. But the operation that's going on at the same time, the A plot or B plot or whatever, nothing really happens from that. Sometimes it does, and this time it did. We got to figure out the angel is not what we expect it to be. Alright, one more thing. Um, the girl who had an arc this episode, she disappeared. Maybe it's because she felt fulfilled and she just kind of poofed, back to being a regular student. So I'm thinking that when you die in this world, you become a high school student and you have the choice to becoming a regular one or keep being in purgatory by doing really weird, insane shenanigan operations. I don't know. We'll see. Episode 4, here we go. Before I forget, the opening to the 4th episode looks very different, and it's cool that they could play around with the mechanics of the show itself. Like the opening. It looks a lot more Persona 5 like, and as you can see, the red haired girl from the first 3 episodes is just gone, the lead vocalist. That's cool. Okay, it's already halfway through episode 4. No need to pretend it's not morning, even though I wish it was night, all 24 hours. Ugh. So, we've got hints. We've got hints of the backstory. My favorite part of the show so far, because they're all so silly. Yes, that's sad. Sorry, I meant sad. The wrong S word. It's something. His name's Hinata. I remembered it. Blue hair. Sort of best friends with the main character. Hinted to being gay. That's cute. Okay. Something to do with baseball. That's all we know so far. He was reminded that he has a baseball-related accident in his life, I suppose. Other than that, the rest of the episode was just trying to get members for some sort of baseball team, because Yuri said, we're gonna do a baseball thing, we're gonna infiltrate them illegally, and whoever does the worst performing team gets some sort of punishment. Now, it wasn't explained what the motive to do such a thing was. Like, it doesn't beat the angel or anything. I assume that they just want to get in shape. I don't know. And the incentive to get in shape is you get punished if you do bad. Besides that, again, they get members. The most fun one was the pink-haired character. And even then, none of the comedy scenes was really that funny. The blue-haired girl, she was holding a broom the entire time. She was balancing on the tip of her finger. Who cares? Alright, second half of the episode should have the backstory. I want to say about the pink-haired girl, she is becoming my favorite character, even though she is very annoying. I just like her design, and that might just be it. The rest of the members of the group are just like her groupies. So whatever. Okay, this This episode was a bit more gripping, but that's probably because I'm more used to the anime loop now. That's the term that I'm gonna be using. You better get used to it. So, his backstory was that in some baseball big moment, he's supposed to catch some sort of um, home run. Everyone knew where he was gonna go, so it was somewhat easy. It was high in the air. It's gonna fall right into his hands, but he missed it basically, and everyone like blamed him for his blunder. Now it was heavily implied that some guy went up to him, gave him something, and his eyes opened. Now, I assume this is drugs, and he just led a life of doing that. Again, just implied. I'm not really sure. You know what? I need to show you the scene, and I'm hoping the YouTube bot does not get me. What you need right now is this. Puts in his hands. Just try it out, man. And he's like, what's that? What's that Pokemon? Wonder what it is. What else calms your nerves? What, is it a coffee candy? Bang bang? Kill me. How about that? Alright. Good story, I guess. My favorite part was definitely because there's this gag about give me a sec. Yes, this pink-haired character. This one that I like. Forgot her name. I'll figure it out next episode. But basically, when he was about to catch it, he might have disappeared. Oh my god, this face is very flattering. He was about to disappear if he catched the ball, because like the exact same moment that happened in real life happened in this purgatory world, and he was gonna disappear. And I assume this happens when they are satisfied with being in the purgatory world, and they either, well, they disappear. They don't really, I don't know if they go to the afterlife or continue living or whatever, but all they know is that they disappear when they are satisfied. And it just gets completely stomped by this gag that happened throughout the entire episode, where they just completely hate each other and do swastika wrestling moves to each other. So that's cool. I liked the gag, but now it's stuck in my mind because of this moment that it like stopped him from this happening. Alright, next episode. The craziness of the backstory is like actually not even bad. It's like the other two, they were pretty silly. This one's more realistic, and it's a lot more like downplayed. So that's good. But I wished it was more silly. Man, I'm not even like annoyed at all that this character basically got replaced to this pink demon, Kirby over here. She's not a great character, like in the sense that, I mean, she's a completely different brand of character than the last one, who was serious and had, you know, her backstory. But this one's just kind of a silly girl. Yes, the word that I would describe this entire series so far, to episode 5 for, is a silly. Woo! Yeah, and what a great comedy, guys, am I right? Okay. Whenever I see the gun in the opening, I'm always just kind of surprised, because it's just sort of out of nowhere. Yeah, bam. Alright. I know I said the entire thing was silly, but I'm like laughing at the backstory parts instead of the actual comedy, because it's not that funny. It's just anime comedy, but it's not perverted. It's just in that line where it's half that. It's mostly, it is relying on like base human elements. I don't know how to describe it. It's fan service, and it's not perverted. It's just dumb. It's just idiotic, and that's a lot of how the anime itself talks about its comedy. Everyone's an idiot, and it realizes that. Also, I haven't talked about the pink character enough yet. I like her. Just not because I like her character, just that she exists. Just that she is fun, but not because she's fun. I don't know. Okay, this episode, I'm loving it so far. It's basically the best one that has actually good comedy. Really, only one gag is making me laugh real bad. It's basically just the one where. Okay, let me show it to you, okay? Yeah, so he flies up to the ceiling. The ending plays for some reason, which is honestly the part that really gets me. The ending plays because it's like a somewhat sad moment, and then it ends abruptly and it has no rhyme or reason. It is fucking hilarious. On top of the fact that he screams low pitched and it's slowed down. Comedy gold, fellas. The parts where the glasses guy is saying, "Oh, please call me Christ," it happens every single time he's talking, and it's just not funny. It's just not a good gag. But one more important thing, or actually a few more. Uh, Basically, Angel, when he was talked to, Yuri says, "Stop fighting." She shouts it. Everyone can hear it. That makes a distraction. And well, it distracts everybody, and the student club president, which is Angel, or we know her real name, Tachibana Kanade now, she actually responds to what the main character is saying, and she used to be a sort of quiet character who didn't have any personality, but now she's replying to what he is saying. So I assume there's going to be more of that where she gets humanized because earlier it wasn't like that. The other thing is that the main character is doing really good on the test, and Yuri said to not be good on the test because that might interfere with past memories that you don't have. So that's something that I always wanted to talk about. The main character has amnesia. He seems to be the last guy who will get an arc of because he's just trying to get his memories back, and it's obviously some sort of meta element to it whenever a character has amnesia. That just means we don't want to focus on them just yet. We'll focus on all these other characters and the world, and then we'll go to that character when he does get his memories returned. So, we're waiting for that, and the only hint we have is that he's really good on tests. And the reason why we're doing this whole test thing, I should have explained this at the very first scene. But basically, they're trying to sabotage the student club president's tests because if she gets a low score, it'll prove that she's human because a loss of dignity is proof that she isn't an angel. She's some sort of human who has emotions. That's what Yuri's line of thinking is. And maybe it'll even have some effect on how teachers and students perceive her. So yeah, we'll see where this episode goes. Maybe it actually is the main characters because that's the only hint we have to having any backstory. It's just he's good at tests. But yeah, besides that, the comedy bits are good. I ain't gay or nothing, but I always liked this dude from the first part I saw him, the one that was like, this guy has nothing redeeming about him whatsoever. That's how he was introduced. I remember from the very first episode. He has a girl voice, and that's definitely because a girl is voice acting him. That's just how it happens in Japanese animes. Gon from Hunter x Hunter is voiced by Megumi Han, who is a girl, and Gon is a boy. And fun fact, he was voiced by Cure Princess from Happiness Charge Precure. That's it. That's all I have to say. I have an encyclopedic knowledge on anime. I swear, you guys. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, this guy is cute. Yeah, did I say that? Okay, I'm gay. Thank you. Okay, I forgot to mention because I keep forgetting, and I'll do it right now. But these scenes here where Oh yeah, these scenes where they're just kind of playing the guitar and such. I assume it got pretty popular because Keion did. Oh wait, not Keion. Haruhi Suzumiya made it popular. These 3D stereoscopic shots of concerts that are happening. Uh, I don't know who made them or what trend started them. I assume it's because Japanese people just like looking at concerts, and maybe these have some sort of emotional effect on people who watch them in Japan. I don't. And I've just seen these happen in other idol anime. Maybe it's just a staple over there. Like Bang Dream, um, Haruhi Suzumiya, and fudge, what was that meme that was like death threats? It was DJ something. I'll research it later, I suppose. But yeah, concert scenes happen, and people like them. I don't. I don't know what's the appeal of them. They sing songs. Okay, I don't care. If this pink-haired girl is cute, I don't care otherwise. Okay, shut up. I'm going to die for that comment. Okay, end of episode 5. First half of the episode was hilarious. Second half, they tried to sort of gauge what the angel is, and they started feeling kind of bad because she was stripped of her position since all of her scores on the test was shit. She got fired, she became a normal student, and she even joined. Well, okay. They were sort of questioning whether or not being God means being the student club president or is transfixed onto the human, aka Angel herself. But when she joined the concert, she would just bought Mapo Tofu, and I don't know if everyone just buys the meal tickets at night during the concert or something because all of them flew away, but whatever. The point is, she likes eating that, and they stole her ticket, and they figured out it was a good food, and they imagined her just eating kind of alone, eating the food that no one else gets. And yeah, it humanizes her. That's sort of the point. There was no backstory this time except for one very small hint that the main character was good at doing tests or something. But yeah, it's the building point or like the foundation to Angel's tragedy, basically. That's the episode. I'll see what's going on in episode 6. The first half is still good. It only had like one great gag, okay? My phone's charging and I put it in a different position. Took a long break, watched an Emp Lemon video, ate a tuna Subway sandwich. Okay, enough of that. Also finished episode 6. You know what that's about? Basically, the angel has stepped down from being the student club president, the Seito Kaicho, and has been replaced with a far more fascist regime. Some other dude. We know his backstory though. Basically, he has a brother and a father. The father is a potterist, makes pottery, and the brother is a prodigy at making stuff. They get a bunch of rewards, but he sucks at it and is just kind of alone and plays on the DS all day, so he doesn't have any meaning in his life until his brother died. Then he tried to become him by doing a lot of pottery, but he sucks, gets scolded a bunch, and then his father was bedridden. And there's this saying that gets being repeated, the one you died was you, or something. Like, even though the brother died, he felt he died because he didn't have any meaning in his life. Well, that was when meaning was introduced because he started pottery, but before then,
he felt like he died because he didn't have any meaning. So yeah, that's the backstory of him. Outside, or like currently what's happening is that he, the main character, I mean, bonds with the angel a bit more. They were stuck in the relaxation room for eating mapo tofu. Uh, and I'm just gonna be saying, wait, not mapo, just they ate at the wrong time at break time. That's why they were in the relaxation room and punished. And she ate the meme food from Fate's Day Night. Fuck yeah. I don't know. Secretly Karen, secretly Kotomini Carey's daughter. They both have white hair. I fucking knew it. That's kind of it for episode 6, really. Like, the fascist person? I don't know what else to call him. He started a war with all the students, and he is secretly not an NPC. And behind the scenes, he was supposed to, like, blend in with all the other students, and that would have made him disappear. But he was secretly massacring all of them and hypnotized them, and that's how he didn't disappear. And he started a war, and then you heard his backstory, and the main character hugged him, and they're gay. Everyone's gay. Alright, episode 7. God damn it. Just one more thing. Okay, I forgot about it. He said he was God. He knew about everything that happened, and they're like, okay, you're all two pussies. That anyone in this purgatory, it's like a battle royale God game, where if you win, you become God. It's Mirai Nikki all over again, and he says he's God. And then we hear his backstory, and it all gets resolved. Okay, thanks. I did it. The camera angle looks okay. The mirror is supposed to reflect what's on the laptop screen, which is supposed to say Angel Beats, but because of this angle, I couldn't really tell what it says. Oh no, you see it there. I just lowered the exposure. Alright, so what was episode 7 about? Its first half is explaining the backstory to the main character, and they achieved this through hypnotism, because I forgot to tell you again that the character they saved, the fascist one who's secretly gay, the pottery dude too, he knows how to hypnotize people. I might have actually said that already. Whatever, who cares? Look, his backstory is that he has a sister who is sick in the hospital bed. He takes care of him, but he doesn't really like having friends and has low grades, I think? Which is kind of weird because earlier he did really well. Oh, wait, it's because he learned shit from. Okay, yeah. Alright, so basically, he just works as like a person who directs traffic and has those traffic lights. That's all he does every day. Um, does it to buy presents for his sister and just eat and survive. He doesn't have any purpose in life. Eventually, he and his sister made a promise to go sightseeing on Christmas Day or something, but she wasn't really supposed to be out by the hospital, but he took her anyways, and she died. So now he doesn't really have a purpose in his life because he realized that it was his sister that gave him purpose, and her words of gratitude specifically. But while walking home from school, I think, he saw another little girl be brought out of the hospital because she was healthy, and now he's like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that everyone's healthy and give them happiness and purpose in life. So he studies like hell, becomes a doctor, gets some ballot, and then in a train accident he dies. So that's the whole thing. He used to have a purpose, but in the end he didn't achieve anything in his life, and it was sad. Uh, you can tell from my intonation and the tears that are welling down my cheeks. I think I'm a fucking psychopath. I can't emote. to any of these sad stories, but maybe I'm just not in the mood. Who knows? It is a nice day out. I don't know. I wanted to say that this story structure really reminds me of The House in Fata Morgana because just like that visual novel, it's a compilation of tragedies, um, and the main character has amnesia, and then you figure out his tragedy. It's pretty cool that it got sort of an anime adaptation. Um, the thing is, um, it couldn't really flesh it out as well as The House on Fata Morgana could, and its comedy doesn't really land. And in The House of Fata Morgana, it doesn't really have too much of a focus on what is happening, like quote unquote, right now. They're just exploring the past of the mansion. But here, it has an A plot and a B plot. Well, the A plot is just a sort of defined section of the backstory, but the other plot is like what's actually happening right now that does relate to their backstory sometimes. So yeah, I think whenever it shows the backstory in the first half, you like get to see how it resolves in the world, the purgatory. But when it's in the second half, that usually like clears up whatever chaos is happening in the first half. And that's because the last episode about the pottery guy, he was shown to be like 100% evil. But now, okay, sorry for those laundry sounds, but it was shown because of his backstory, he wanted to be God or whatever. Uh, oh yeah, forgot about that one scene. It was hilarious. He hypnotized Hinata about clothespins, and he was like, "This clothespin is better than you." And then he was like, "Oh my god, they like make sure the laundry doesn't get wet and be hanged up so they can dry. This clothespin is better than me. I am lower than dirt." And of course, he was able to do that through hypnotism. It was hilarious. Alright. Next episode. Oh, sorry, I'm halfway through the seventh. Kill me. Alright, episode 7 finished. The backstory didn't really have anything to do with the second half. My analysis was wrong, I suppose, but usually it'll make sense. Usually. I'm going to die because I'm wrong. Anyways, this is my tragedy, being wrong about anime. So they just kind of catch a big fish. That's all that happened. I don't know what to tell you. I do have other things to say. Tachibana Kanade, that's her name. I just remember Tachibana because Kamen Rider Blade, and Kanade because Sweet Precure. That's the name of the secondary one. I'm just here to ramble about everything, and you cannot stop me. So the main character wants to get closer to her, and she like invites her to the fishing place. But the reason why it's kind of dangerous to do that is because it was explained earlier that I don't think I mentioned was that Kanade, whenever she makes friends with anyone, the other person disappears? Like, I don't know if that only works for NPCs or for other souls. And that's what I'm just gonna call them, human, like, souls, like Undertale. Um, Determination, anyways. I don't know why that applies to everyone. I don't understand. Like, are they already satisfied with the fact that they are friends with her? Is that what that means? Or is it just another quirk of the world that if you befriend this specific person, that's the case? Or it's part of her backstory? Oh, no, no, no. Her whole deal is that she is lonely. So if she makes a friend, they'll disappear. But I don't know why they'll disappear, not her. I don't fucking know. Hopefully it'll be explained. Another thing that does need to be explained. Oh wait, before that, yeah, they get closer to her. She becomes part of the anti-Angel group, Angel herself. That's kind of awkward, but they do rename it to like Slack so we don't vanish team or something. Um, Angel attacks Yuri. That is the plot twist, the cliffhanger of this episode. She has another copy of herself and she is evil. That is not explained. We'll see what happens next. I don't know if I'm doing any proper analysis at this point, I'll be honest. I might just be recapping the whole show, but I don't know. I did have a few opinions here and there. Continuing on. Okay, just one more thing. When it comes to the comedy of this show, it's all the same sort of joke, which is just a bunch of gags like Sheena keeps saying just shallow minded, and the fascist guy keeps saying I'm a god, and TK keeps saying something in English. It's a bit funny, and I do like gags, like repeated jokes that one character says. It's just all the characters have the same type of joke, and they say it every time the character's basically on screen. So the reason I say that, yeah. Okay, so the reason say they say that is because it's a bit funny, and I'm repeating myself, but the pink-haired girl, the reason she doesn't fall in line with the other ones and why she might be my favorite character is because her joke is that it's her personality. She says multiple different things that fall into the same category, which is being an annoying brat. And I love annoying brats, so I just can't help but to love her, but I don't remember her name. So crap. Um, it's also just kind of because I like annoying brats, I suppose. Hime Aries, she's not really that. I don't know what to classify her as. But yeah, that's the mark of a great character. They defy archetypes. Her, yeah. Maybe one thing that you could call her to be her gag is that she calls people idiots, but they all kind of call each other idiots. Whatever. Enough. I don't know what to focus the camera on anymore, so it's gonna be focusing on itself. There you go. Now that's what I call meta. Alright. That's the lamest thing I've ever said. Hey, it's me, Naffy Napkin. I'm halfway through episode 8, so just to recap it a bit more, I suppose. Uh, the angel is doing weird things. Now, they analyzed her a bit more, and they were like, he's the clone. We figured out that she is able to clone herself, and her clone is being way too aggressive. She usually isn't aggressive. She does it for self-defense. That's what the real person is saying. But the clone doesn't do that. It just attacks people. But we realize it's following the order to be a Seito Kaicho or student council president to maintain order for everyone. And it's still following that command. Now, what Yuri does to countervent this is to create a program in her software, which is something called Angel Player, and her Windows XP computer called. Well, there's already a built-in command called Absorb. She just added another one called Time Wait, which activates that command. And we see that it completely F's up. She was supposed to be in her hospital bed, but she broke out and the window's broken. So who knows what that could possibly mean. You also make it like incredibly. One thing that I want to say, it makes it incredibly easy, the show, to follow along with the programming section. Like, Angel Player is basically a bunch of diagrams and a list of moves, and you just see the list of moves and what the move does next to it. So, great software design, great UX show, people who made it. Cool. And she just added a new one where it just activates another command. Whatever. Alright? they go underground to find her, the guild place from episode 2. That's what's happening right now. Damn it, I keep forgetting. Okay. The pink-haired girl again. Her new bit is that she will say she'll piss herself. She keeps saying, "Oh, don't worry, I totally won't. I might piss myself, but I'm gonna do what I can." Uh, Hilarious comedy gold. Maybe the other reason why I don't like her, and this is a different point, that she doesn't have a tragedy, or at least it's not shown yet. I hope that's gonna be the crux of the finale, the 12th episode, 13th episode. It's just gonna be what it's about. It better be. She's my favorite for no reason whatsoever. I mean, I've analyzed a bit earlier, but I still don't really know. I just think she's cute. Cute. End of episode 8. Yep, they go down to the guild. They sacrifice everyone again, just like in episode 2 for those traps. But instead, it's just kind of pushing themselves onto a tiny girl, Angel Lamau. Oh, she is known by a different name, Tachibana or Kanade or whatever. I'm still gonna call her Angel, that's just what I remember her as. And turns out, whenever she uses Absorb, oh my god. Oh, that's why. Okay. So basically, she used harmonics, which after 10 seconds lets her use Absorb. So I was wondering, why didn't she use Absorb in the first place? There's a story reason, but not a reason the characters understand. What I mean is, she had to clone herself, and that clone would explain what Absorb does to the audience and the characters, and then she actually does Absorb. So yeah, when she absorbs people, she takes in all the clones. They all have spirits of their own, and she's gonna have to quote unquote pay for it. Apparently, using Absorb, and for each clone, like, she just gets pain from it. Like, they don't really take any pain of themselves, the clones. So if the clones took any pain, it would go to her. That's not how it was explained. And it wouldn't make any sense either, because all they did was just get kind of pushed on by other characters. They didn't die or anything. I don't know, that's it. And the aftermath is that she gets to take in a bunch of clones, which apparently hurts. It doesn't make all too much sense, but whatever. We'll see what happens. The only other funny thing is that the pink character survived out of all of them. She has a thing for Hinata, the blue-haired guy. Or not. They honestly have a complicated relationship. It's yes and it's no in Katy Perry's song. Anyways, she was basically going down a hill and then got hit by a metal beam, and Yuri was like, "Oh well, she got taken by Angel. That sucks." So she might still be alive. I imagine it might actually be BFDI rules if anyone watched that. There's this thing called a reviver, basically, and it revives dead objects from the show. And I'll imagine that if you're still alive, the reviver doesn't work. So maybe she just never gets out of the underground guild place, Lamau. Alright, episode 9, here we go. Look at that key. What that means, I think, is that this anime was original, but they, I don't know, yeah, when I say that, it seems like, wow, I saw the word key and I'm like, it's a keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, obviously. What I mean is, Key is a studio that makes visual novels, and I figured they teamed up with anime people, PA Works, to make an anime that has a visual novel-like story. So that's cool, right? Uh, that's probably the case, because I don't know where else Key would be seen, like visual Key. They made a bunch of other visual novels, Clannad and Air. They made this one, I assume. I'm gonna have to check again, but this is interesting news. So because I was wondering, like, it feels so visual novel-like, and this might be the reason why. All right. God damn! I don't want to pause the episode at such an engaging time. You know, it's the ninth one, and maybe for some people who already watched it would know what that means, but basically, in the first half, there's this weird concept that's brought up, and I didn't understand it last time. She'll Angel will quote unquote pay for it, and for absorbing all those clones, and it gets expounded upon, saying she will have the consciousness of all those hundred clones, and she's currently battling it out inside her head of which clone subconscious would win and take over her body. Um, Really bizarre concept, and I love it. But, and we're just kind of waiting until what happens to her, I suppose. Another interesting thing happens. We get to see the main character, Otonashi's memories after the train incident, and they get stuck in some train tunnel between two rubbles, and they basically try to save everyone, and he's like a humanitarian. He's really devoted to saving everyone and getting out. He has a lot of motivation right now. That's good. But disaster strikes when one person runs away with all the water. And remember, they're stuck in a tunnel. They don't really have any water except for whatever they brought earlier. They only have a few packed lunches and a few bottles of water. One guy stole all of it, ran away, even just dropped all of it to the floor and wasted a lot of it. But it's all fine since, well, it's not. They wasted a lot of water, but like Otonashi sacrifices himself so that everyone else still has their portion of water. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. He gets a friend named Igarashi, and he has a wound in his stomach. That's kind of it for now. And they're stuck in the tunnel for 3 days. The past 3 damn days, okay? It's intense. It's engaging. I just need to figure out what happens next. Alright, some guy almost dies, and he tried to do CPR. Not CPR, just tried to, like, restart his heart by pumping on it again, and it didn't work, and he dies, and yeah, everyone's losing hope. Cool. I'm not even done with the episode, but I got a few things that I forgot to say about. First, it takes 7 days for a rescue team to come to them. Maybe it's just a lot of rubble that happened in some explosion. I don't know. The show doesn't really tell us why the accident happened, just that it did, and it's unfortunate that the characters were caught up in it, which is whatever. But it took 7 days, which is bullshit. You fucking... That rescue team sucks. Second thing, they all decided to donate their organs, all of them. That's cool. And even gave hope to everyone else. That's the last thing Otonashi did. He just wanted to, like, give organs to other people. He died first before all the other people did because he had a thing in his stomach. And he died just before the rescue team came. Tragic. The only other thing that I wanted to say was that Otonashi woke up with amnesia at the start of the show. And they said one of the reasons why is it could be some sort of car accident that injured his brain. But no, here it injured his stomach. So it doesn't really make any sense for him to wake up with amnesia. Whatever. It is the famous shot at the end of every episode. You're gonna have to look at that. Towoku. Alright, so the second half of this episode, it was a bit messy, sorta. Not really, but they had a conversation and I had to remember everything. it is revealed that I think Angel forgot everything that happened with them the last few days, but she is good. She reveals her intentions, which is so that she could show everyone a life that is not unfair. But she acts as the villain so that they can have someone to fight, and that's something fun to do. In their young youths, they didn't get to do that, have fun, so now they get to have fun. That's cool. Now that Otonashi, the main guy, sort of gained like the ability to disappear, or well, not really. He was close, but turns out that it wasn't his true regret, so he can still stay, even though he like realized his purpose in life was to give his organs away. So at least then they'd be thankful, and that's all he wanted to be, to gain thanks. I'm just gonna say though, that really reminds me of Happiness Charge Precure when Megumi um, wanted to do everything just because she heard words of gratitude from her mother. That's why she helps people. And it was questioned. So, technically saying episode 30 of Happiness Charge continues upon this moral. Fucking believe that, okay? I like think of everything in terms of anime and specifically Pretty Cure. It's got everything. It does every moral. So it just continues and expounds upon morals that I've seen in other places, like this example, Angel Beats. Oh god. Okay. She becomes the president again, and basically, she works together with Otonashi to make sure that he figures out everyone's pasts and so that everyone can graduate safely. So that is great. Uh, but the cliffhanger is he doesn't know what will happen to them after they graduate. Like, yeah, they just know it's the afterlife, but they don't know what's after afterlife, you know? It's kind of weird to think about. And that's one of the themes this anime explores. My prediction is that after afterlife, it's either they reborn as a human baby again, because that's what was mentioned as like the Buddhist theology, or nothing happens. I don't know. They should be. That's kind of nihilistic to think about. I'm not gonna be here and act existential. So, next episode. Alright, I'm gonna take a break after this. See ya on episode 10. Oh, you're right. When they go through and search everyone's past, I'm really hoping they go to the pink haired girl. If they don't, I will be so pissed. Episode 10 is about this girl, not that one. God damn it. That one and the pink one, yes. Her name's Yui, apparently. First time I fucking heard about it. Alright, I better enjoy this episode. Bochi, when did you get teleported into this anime? Okay, end of episode 10. It was a good arc, but I suppose my expectations were a bit too high. I wanted to enjoy it a bit more, or wanted the narrative to go in a bit of a different direction. But I don't know, not many real like flaws beside I wish it went into I wish it went somewhere else completely, because I like her character. I like Yui. She's a fun brat, you know? Probably my favorite archetype of all time. Happy that another one exists in this anime. But her backstory is that, she was simply paralyzed. She got hit in the back as a youngin'. Is in a hospital bed, as they all usually are. Uh, kind? Well, whatever. Usually when you're sick, and that's also usually the source of, I don't know, a bad life, like a lifelong terminal condition. You're just stuck in a hospital bed. She just can't move. She felt bad because her mom did everything for her and worked for her. Uh, I mean, whenever I was sick, if I had more of a conscience or was more older and mature and realized that, I would have felt the same thing as her. But I was in middle school and I had dengue fever for like a week. Um, Relatable is what I'm saying. She basically watched TV and now she's forcing the main character to do a bunch of things that she saw on TV, like baseball player, soccer dude, and singing. Yeah. Oh no, it's pro wrestling. They did the German suplex. It was all very cute. I like Yui a lot. Just seeing her, act and stuff. But in the end, during the baseball thing, she wanted to do a home run. They tried it out for like 3 days, and it was implied that they all they did one day was just try to knock balls out of the park, and that's all they did. It was mostly just her and the main character. That is until. Oh, wait. Before that, she basically was just satisfied with just that because all she wanted to do was just use her body and do athletic activities that she wouldn't be able to do since she was paralyzed. And then she wanted to do one last thing, just get married, and there was this push and pull relationship, like tsundere kind of thing with the blue-haired guy, Hinata. And, well, it's a good thing he stayed around and didn't disappear until this episode, because they get together. They don't really get married, but she is satisfied enough to leave the world. And I just like this energetic little bundle of joy, you know? Stuck and cursed in a hospital bed. Her energy precedes her, you know? I like it. I like her a lot. And sad that we don't get to see more of her. Okay. I just wish a bit more chaos happened, but that's honestly my only flaw about it. Oh, to like elaborate what I meant, I suppose. I didn't mean like her backstory's fine. It's subdued. It doesn't have the same, I don't know, urgency as many of the other backstories the characters usually have, and that's okay. Oh my god, I just saw the opening again. Again. Look at this fucking shit. God, the vocalist for this band just keeps disappearing. But the band just keeps existing because they need to play songs. Uh, it's subdued and it fits her character and it's a nice little story. I like it, but I also feel like it could have went in a way more chaotic direction. Imagine if her life was, because of her personality, she just went into just crazy situations but didn't understand that they were crazy, but she just fit in them completely. And in the end, she felt the tragedy of like her life not meaning anything from those crazy things. I don't know. I'm doing a fanfic at this point, but it could have went somewhere. And the one we got was wholesome, but felt a bit like wasted potential. Not a big point against it, but you know. I think I said earlier that guns are weird, and I still think guns are weird. I think they should have used more school related weapons. Like they use more creative, just artillery that you could make from schools. Like imagine if they were in a zombie apocalypse, your weapons from a school might be just a desk chair or kendo equipment or a broken ruler. I don't know, okay, but I think it would fit a lot more instead of guns.
because that makes me question, like, where do they get the guns from? Second of all, I'm just reminded that just like how Angel can create her own moves and how you can create anything out of dirt. Oh wait, I guess you could get the guns from the dirt. Then the only um, thing you have to do there, the only condition is that you just remember what a gun does and what it looks like. I feel like they're a bit too complicated to even do it that way. So more blunt or just sticks that are sharp could be better or something. I don't know. They needed some ranged weapon, and guns are the best, I suppose. I still don't think that's true. Just make weapons out of dirt, or even better, everyone be able to make up their own abilities. I don't think that takes away from the show much. Like, it'll be more of a shonen kind of thing instead of a more realistic ordeal where everyone uses like real actual weapons. But still, it'll just be cooler. I don't know. I still think it's weird, but I don't know how to explain why I don't think guns should be in this anime. Maybe it's because they look a bit too realistic. Like you can actually see the fine detail in them. I don't know. I'm anti-gun myself, but gun comedy is the best comedy. I was planning to just watch until the end and then put my thoughts in. I don't have much, but I am gonna jog my memory at least. Monsters come out of nowhere. They're just kind of shadows. At first, they were two guys that were really gay for the main character, the blue-haired one, and Naoi, the former president, who is really evil. That's cute. I love gay people. I don't think I'll get into why in any way, shape, or form, but those are cool. I don't hate them. Ugh. There aren't many, I don't know, aesthetically appealing anime waifu female characters except for Yui that I found, really. I guess Angel kind of counts. Um, well, personally appealing. Sure, I guess Angel's quiet and probably is voiced by Hana Kanazawa. I recognize her voice. That'd be really embarrassing if she wasn't. Yuri looks like her Suzumiya, so that's whatever. I was talking about what was happening in the first half of this episode. Monsters appear, they shoot him. They figure out it's not from Angel. She basically helps attack them and fend them off. When Yuri realizes that, that's kind of it. I mean, we gotta figure out where these monsters come from. Oh, and these shadow beings engulf people inside them. And Takashima, who's the fat guy, he got eaten. Yep. You know, I just realized why Naui, the former vice president, or whatever, the black clothed person, is gay. It's because he was so easily reformed when Otonashi hugged him at his episode. So they just like went all into that and made him real queer. Uh, it's a cute gimmick. I don't hate it. I don't even hate the meta reason of why he's gay, but it's cool, I guess. Especially whenever he's like, oh, he hates everyone else and hypnotizes everyone. So he always says, all of you suck. Why didn't you prepare better? Except for you, Otanashi. You're the god's servant. You're granted an exception to my beration. Yeah, I guess I like Naui too. Sounds like Naoipkin. Yeah, okay. The plot's thickening. The monsters. The main character Euripe figured that they must come from the computer room because all of Angel's special abilities come from computers. That's the best way I can describe it. And a guy was there, but it turned out he was just kind of a janitor. I'm still a bit suspicious since he was the one installing stuff at night. But he says he's renewing programs or setting up things, but whatever. She found a latch to the guild. So that's, well, we'll see what happens next episode. Before that, though, Otanashi basically blurted out his plan that he is going to make everyone disappear, be satisfied, and go to their old world. And we had a quick montage of everyone doing their favorite thing, like the band members looked at their guitars. Jake, or TK, reminded me of Forze, Jake, but whatever. He jumps around and dances. I guess that's what he was doing. Others played with cats. Whatever, okay? We're gonna see what happens next episode, but I got a Zoom meeting because I'm such a busy person. I'm going to die. I haven't cried yet, so the next 2 episodes, which is the last session, should make me cry like a little bitch. And if they don't, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. And this is not what I paid for. And that's true because I was pirating this. I'm gonna bleep that. I'm sorry.
Someone give me an explanation for this. There's just kind of a shot in the opening where Yuri is on the toilet. I don't know what it means. I've kind of questioned, like, this part where the opening just goes through this montage. It might be the moments in the episode that are about to happen, but I wasn't paying attention to it really. And no, I don't skip the opening. I just didn't watch it. I just wasn't looking at the visuals. I was just listening to it. Okay. No one call me an opening skipper. That's really important to my identity as an anime fan. It's not, I was joking. I gotta ask about the guild though. I don't understand their deal. So, are they souls as well, or are they NPCs? Like, did they also have a bad youth? Why are they in underground instead of the high school setting? I just don't know what their deal is. And I might have skipped some sort of explanation. Maybe they also had fun down there at the guild, and that's why they're there in the first place as their purgatory thing. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have an urban life and instead had a miner life. I don't know. As a Minecrafter. And they're having their ideal Minecraft life. Am I reading too much into this? Have I become a Tumblr boy? Or, like, is it just me? Or is this line sexist? Okay, that's all I want to say. Like, does it imply all girls have pretty much the same interests? Or just very similar interests? Oh, kill me. Alright, obligatory pause in the middle of an episode. The Otonashi team are just trying to wade through the monster place. I mean, the place that's ravaged with monsters. I don't know where they're really going to. I thought their main goal was to go to every person and disappear them somewhere to make them satisfied. Funny clip, the band members, they weren't really given any attention at all, and they were just like, we got to play, we had fun, whatever, time to head out. And they could have done it at any moment, so they all poofed as a group. What else? The fat guy, he was in the mountains training. He went back, and he's now really thin and can do karate moves. That sort of answered a question that I had earlier, that I have a feeling the school that they're in is a rural school that's just near the mountains, and they could just go to the mountains nearby, or there genuinely isn't some sort of border around the purgatory that they're in. I don't know. I don't really want to question the borders of this world because it doesn't matter that much. All the characters just set in their ways that this is the setting that they want to be in and be with these people, so they don't question it that much. It forwarded or progressed Yuri's journey into the guild place. That was the cliffhanger of the last episode, I suppose. She said goodbye to some guild members. They all disappeared. I guess they're satisfied or they died to the shadow place. She also contemplated about being friends with Tachibana Kanade and she wanted to be friends with her a bit more. That's cute. Alright, next half. We're going through some monsters. That's what's happening right now. Oh dang, a reverse. Sus. I'm going to die. How long has it been since the last time that's even been relevant? I've dated this video so much more. Ow. Hey Yuri, don't start getting any ideas. This is gonna become the prototype for Haruhi Suzumiya. Yuri looks so much like her. Okay, episode 12 ended, and you might be thinking that my slow way of speaking right now means I'm sad. And no, I'm a man. I don't cry so easily. I'm not a pussy. Yeah, but it was pretty sad. Felt it in my heart. Still, the House and Fate of Morgana hurt me more, but really, I'm comparing a masterpiece to literally everything else, and now I just cannot feel the same high anymore. Angel Beats, still pretty good. Anyways, what actually happened? Yuri went into a computer room. She was with a guy. They had a long dialogue. I actually had to like rewind to reread, watch everything because I didn't get it the first time. And the point was that the guy, he programmed everything. It looks like a cool serial experiments lane kind of room. He didn't know why he was programmed to do the thing he did, which is to program all of the shadow monsters. But he knows that the reason why he did it is because love manifested in the world. And when that happens, it becomes a paradise. And I'll get into the implications of that in a bit. But so a guy noticed that if love manifested itself in that world, it would become a paradise, and he decided to program those monsters, I guess, so that when it infects someone, they'll turn into an NPC. That's because that guy had a love interest and was like, okay, I'm gonna make her disappear so that I don't feel this pain, or something like that. Actually, I don't remember that much, but I don't think that's the true reason, is what I'm saying. But after that, it's sensed that Yuri has love in her heart, especially, and it's for every one of her squad mates that she has. So that's cool. And possibly, at least for now, the most cathartic moment when she shot everything in the room. There was music swelling up and stuff. And the reason she did that is because she was tempted to like wait or like think it through before destroying everything. But no, she's like, humans don't even have patience for 10 minutes, which correlates to her backstory. And then it was a cool scene where she shot all the computers. So that's cool. The next episode, she supposedly gets her graduation scene where she moves on, but it is seen in the after credits. She is back with her friends, so that's cool. She gets like a dream sequence where she talks with her siblings that died. Alright. I shall continue on. If I don't cry in the next episode, I'll cry anyways, because it sucks that the saddest anime ever didn't make me cry. Well, one of them. That's definitely a thing that I keep hearing about this show. It made people cry. Alright.
I forgot to subplant my theory before the 13th episode starts that the main guy, Otonashi, was that programmer who made all that crap. The shadow demons. Uh, Really, the only hint that I have for that is that it needs to have a character that was already shown. You know, fucking Nox's Decalogue. I got that from Umineko, by the way. I will be very pissed if that is not the case. Even though the only hint that I have is that, and he's mentioned amnesia, and the only thing, um, the only guy that has that is the main character at the start, and it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Like, why would he have amnesia even though he was fine when he died? So I assume because he loved someone and because he programmed all that crap, he made himself forget his memories and wandered around as an NPC. He is currently an NPC and cannot get out. Well, that also kind of not make sense about how he was placed because he just kind of appeared behind Yuri. That's kind of okay. Mysteries are still unraveling here. Last episode should have all the answers, and I should cry like a little bitch after it all ends. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, remember what I said about heavy implications of that place becoming paradise? Yeah. This is the afterlife. I guess it could be heaven or hell. So, you know, they're just in a purgatory. And I assume, I mean, this is getting really into like um, the religious section of it, I suppose. But when you're put into this world, Earth and your life in general, in a sense, is a moral test of whether or not you can go into eternal paradise or eternal punishment. And purgatory here is sort of like that. That is until love manifests, which is like the most paradise or positive thing you can experience on Earth, which would then become that. I'm just talking metaphorically here. I don't have a real point, but I just want to mention that.
Oh my god, you guys, look at how fucking shiny this gymnasium floor is. I love it. This is clearly production value at its best. We should use all of our money to make shiny gymnasium anime floors. Okay, I'm at the very end, and this is a very sad scene. But this fucking water is so good looking, oh my god. I'm joking. Those are my crying sounds. Haha, fuck you. Fuck you. I was gonna like have it focused on my face and then tears streaming. Ah, I should have gotten my Nestle. I should have gotten my water and then had like water in my eyes and then it'd be like, oh, I'm crying a river here. Damn it, it didn't happen. Let me tell you something. Cryporn does not work on me. Okay? I'm a masculine man. But I am sniffing, and I did get the goosebumps. It was affecting, but it wasn't cry-worthy. 12, episode 13. It's a slow burn. Everyone had a cool conversation. It was semi... Yeah, it was the most realistic anti-anime dialogue scene in this entire show, basically, and they all said goodbye. It was natural. It was cool. Everyone cried, except for Hinata, but he had a cool job. I don't know if it's going to be in the OVAs or whatever, but I suppose I like the characters enough to watch it eventually, but definitely not in this video. Definitely. I didn't even watch the Bacano OVAs either. But yeah, basically at the end, Oh shit, what's his name? It's I watched the entire thing and I forgot. Otonashi, he suggests to Kanade that they stay in this world and help the lost souls go through purgatory, find their real purpose, be more satisfied with their deaths, and then move on. And I was basically right. It is some Buddhist afterlife where they go back on Earth. So that's cool. That's the answer to what happens after that. Maybe it was clear all along and I didn't get it first time. Whatever. Uh, she denies. Basically, well, okay. First, he confesses his love to her. She does not want to respond because she will disappear. It is a surprising, not a surprising fact, but it is a cool thing that they didn't show her backstory. I feel like it was kind of obvious that she was alone and needed friends. But big plot twist that doesn't mean much, but it was still pretty cool. She was the one that was saved by Otonashi's organ donors, so that's cool. Uh, she kept saying thank you to him, and he kept saying I love you to her, and that like completely coincided with what they wanted out of each other, because in Otonashi's life, all he wanted was just to get gratitude from his sister, and she just wanted someone to love her. So it's great. I'm happy that they're happy. One more last thing though before I end this video. There's the after credit scene where, okay, as you can see, Michelle is touching the white-haired girl's shoulder, or just about to. And it's surprising how much like the messages coincide or relate to these visual novels that I've been reading. Maybe it's because they're literally the best things I've ever read in my life, and I will keep thinking about them until I die. Tsubihibi and The House in Fata Morgana. So, I've already talked about how The House in Fata Morgana relates to this. It's a compilation of tragedies, and they can live through it because they found love. And in Tsubihibi, even though they all did a bunch of fucked up shit, they still found a reason to live through philosophical means or whatever. It's hard to get into, but that's basically the big and short of it. And in this anime, it has the same deal. Yeah, that's cool. Tear emoji. Consume everything. Goodbye.